Hey everybody, it's Cecilia from Pardun Farm. We've been getting a lot of questions about our racking, and actually what we decided to do was separate the chickens and the rabbits. So I want to go ahead and show you what the chicken coop looks like now, and on a different day I'll give you a tour of the rabbit area. But we have made some changes. What we learned from having our rabbits and our chickens together was that our chickens would want to roost on top of the rabbit cages, and that would result in them dropping their feces on top of the rabbit cages and occasionally falling into where the rabbits were. And we just didn't like that. And then it worked really great during the summer, but in the winter it gets more dusty in the chicken coop because we're trying to keep snow and wind and moisture out, so we keep it closed up a little bit more. And we just didn't think that that was good for our rabbits. So I know that it does work for some homesteaders. We just decided personally on our property that we were going to do that a little bit different and keep them separate. So I want to go ahead and show you our chicken coop. This is what we came up with. We are talking about potentially repurposing this garage that we've made into our chicken coop and actually building them a chicken coop possibly this year or next year, but we'll see what happens. So for now, here is our tour. So we have double doors, which is really nice because when I want to clean in the spring, I can open both doors and just shovel into the skid steer bucket. So I was really tempted to clean this up, but I actually think it is important to show you real life and what it actually looks like. So as you can see, we have two ladders that were older that we screwed together and we screwed to the wall. So that's one set of our roosts. And then this is another roost that we have. And you can actually see that it's made out of just branches screwed to some 2x4s that we had repurposed off of a barn that fell down here. So roosts can be super cheap and super easy to make just out of repurposed material. Just remember that you want your chickens to be able to wrap their feet around them so that they don't get frostbite if you're in a cold climate. Now, you can see that there's chicken feces on the wall, and if I go up like this, you can see the cobwebs and stuff. So once a year in the spring, what we do is we will shovel out all of our deep litter bedding and compost, and when we do that, we will also pressure wash this coop. But that just gets done once a year, and really in the winter is when it gets the dirtiest. This is our feeder. We use local feed that is ground at a local co-op. It's 18% layer, I believe, protein. And then we have some roosting or nesting boxes. So this one right here is the oldest one. That was actually here when we bought the property. And I just bought these other two in January. And I don't know what they're doing, like royal rumbling or what, but you can see that they broke this little perch. So we'll have to fix that again. They actually broke the bottom of that perch there too. Was broken this morning when I came in also. So I just actually got done fixing that. So with our feeder, we just put in a piece of PVC that fit into the top of it to extend it to make it bigger. And really the reason that we did this is on occasion we like to go for the weekend and go camping or something. So this makes sure that they have more than enough feed while we're gone. Now, as far as in our nesting boxes, you can see that I use hay. I actually really strongly prefer straw. However, we have hay that is produced on our property that we won't use all of, so we use hay because it's free, basically. And then you can see that we are currently using some oyster shells. We actually purchased those because this winter we were getting some softer eggs, and you can see now that our eggs aren't soft. They look like a regular egg. And what we have started doing since I purchased those is actually saving our eggshells and grinding them up, and then we will put them back in our feed. But in the meantime, we will be using up those oyster shells that we bought. And you can see we have in the past used some corporate sponsored, I guess, feed. And you can see that we actually have some of those bags stapled to the outside of our chicken coop, because I'm going to go back in here. In the summer, this is just chicken wire, and it gives them a lot of ventilation and helps keep them cool. We have since transitioned to using locally sourced feed because I like to know where it came from, and I learned that the sooner the feed is cracked before you feed it, the better it is for the animal. But that's a little tour of our chicken coop. It's not much. It's probably way bigger than we need for our 28 birds. But like I said, we originally had the hens and the rabbits in here and have since moved the rabbits. So we probably will repurpose this space back into some sort of storage shed or something and make something that's more size appropriate for them. But it really has worked well for us. And I do think it's important that you know that part of farming is spider webs and all of that fun stuff. So thank you for hanging out with us today. Keep growing.